Elon Musk stated earlier this week that if there is a shortage in the U.S. on ventilators, that Tesla will make them. New York City's Mayor de Blasio calls his bluff and pleads for him to start doing so. Nikki Haley actually steps down from Boeing because she says they don't deserve a bailout. And finally, is the market going to bottom before this pandemic actually peaks? I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinion on all of that coming up. So Elon Musk has gotten a lot of backlash from his comments about the beer bug, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit more. But first, I want to welcome you to my channel. Hi, my name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. The stock market is a crazy and chaotic place, and I've made it my mission to help you own it. So if you want to see more content such as this, please consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and if you like today's video, give me that good old thumbs up. So today's video, we're going to start off with Elon Musk and the controversy that he's created with the beer bug. We've already talked about his controversial comments about panic being ridiculous and so on and so forth. But now he's changing his tune a little bit. He's shifting and pivoting his view on this. And just earlier this week, he put out a tweet that says, "We will make ventilators if there is a shortage." And I think at this point, the rest of the world is saying, what do you mean if there's a shortage? There is a shortage, bro. And that's exactly what statistician Nate Silver responded to when he saw the tweet from Elon Musk as well, stating there is a shortage now. How many ventilators are you making at Elon Musk? In which Elon responded, stating Tesla makes cars with sophisticated HVAC systems. SpaceX makes spacecraft with life support systems. Ventilators are not difficult but cannot be produced instantly. Which hospitals have these shortages you speak of right now? And at this point, when I'm looking at this response, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's going on here? Is Elon just living on in his own little world? Is he not understanding what's going on in the rest of the world? Because there are shortages everywhere. If we go and look at Italy, they don't have enough people on ventilators, and they are picking and choosing who survives and who doesn't. So when it's getting that serious, why doesn't Elon just go ahead and start making them at this point? After all, the state of California is forcing him to close his doors down in Fremont, so no cars will be made until further notice. And so this might lend him an opportunity to continue to keep his business going if he was able to create more ventilators for those who need them. In further response, New York City's Mayor Bill de Blasio actually tweeted out to Elon as well, stating, New York City is buying. Our country is facing drastic shortage, and we need ventilators ASAP. We will need thousands in this city over the next few weeks. We're getting them as fast as we can, but we could use your help. We are reaching out to you directly. And so Elon has yet to have responded to this. So de Blasio is essentially, calling his bluff. I don't think that de Blasio is doing this in any kind of vicious way, but I think that he's serious. I think that he's obviously very concerned about, there being a shortage and then running into the same issue that they're experiencing in Italy. Now, Elon has been experiencing a lot of scrutiny by downplaying the seriousness of this disease and how it's impacting the entire world at this point. But I want to hear from you guys now. Are you concerned at all about his attitude towards this issue, or do you think that he should just go ahead and start making ventilators right now? Why wait at this point in time? Where do you think Elon is going from here? Is he going to actually respond to Bill de Blasio and start actually making ventilators for the U.S. and for the world? And in my opinion, I think he should. At this point in time, if you're closing your doors from the car manufacturing side, this allows you to keep your doors open at least a little bit more, and you can create more jobs for ventilator production, and then you're also helping out your fellow man by making sure that people are staying safe and can survive on these ventilators. I mean, there's a clear shortage out there, and I think that it would be awesome to see him respond to this accordingly. I mean, if people like Mayor de Blasio are saying we're buying, why not? Okay, so for our next topic today, we're talking about Nikki Haley and stepping down as the director of Boeing, and this is very interesting. And I have to say that I applaud Nikki for doing this. This is a really stand-up thing that she did. So what's going on with Boeing is that we all know that Boeing has had their own slew of issues here, dating back to the 737 MAX Air issues and the issues that they're continuing to have there. But there's also been a lot of spending problems now, and so we're in a situation at this point in time in our economy where Boeing is looking to get themselves a bailout to the tune of $60 billion. Haley, the former South Carolina governor and U.S. ambassador, served on Boeing's finance and audit committees after being elected to the board, and has now decided she wants to step down, and is quoted as saying, "I cannot support a move to lean on the federal government for a stimulus or bailout that prioritizes our company over others and relies on taxpayers to guarantee our financial position. Haley stated, I have long held strong convictions that this is not the role of government. And I got to say that I applaud Nikki Haley for doing this. First of all, I just love her as a person. I think that she's great. I hope that she gets back into government one day, just because I think that she's the breath of fresh air that a lot of us need in politics. But that aside, I think that her stance on this is spot on. If you look at the history of airlines and themselves, every time they get bailed out, they don't spend money appropriately. They have plenty of free cash flow, but then they end up using it to just engage in stock buybacks, and it really doesn't do anything to help support the economy, the company in and of itself. It's just really they deserve to be in the position that they're in at this point in time. Having said that, Trump's been quoted as saying that we need to protect airlines and Boeing at this point. So I think that the president is in a very difficult situation, because he's also said that, you know, the companies that have been doing buybacks pretty much deserve to be where they're at as well. So talking out both sides of your mouth at this point, how does he handle this? And I want to know from you, what do you think that the government should do at this point? Should we be bailing them out just like we bailed out the big three car companies back in 2008? I mean, look at how that ended up turning out. Mergers ended up happening. The only company that stood strong out of that whole situation was Ford, which, you know, they're still not doing all that great at this point in time either. So where do we go from here? What if we end up bailing these companies out? Is that a whole can of worms that we don't want to end up opening? Or do you think that it's just essential and a company like Boeing is simply too big to fail and we have no choice but to bail them out? I would love to hear from you, and I reply to all of the comments, so if you could leave one down below for me and giving me your thoughts, I would love to hear from you. Okay, on to today's last topic, and I think this is probably one of the most important topics of the day. Is the stock market going to bottom out before the beer bug virus actually peaks? And my thought on this is yes. While the stock market is typically a leading indicator in the economy, it tends to peak before the onset of economic recession and the bottom before an economic recovery. However, this pandemic that we've been facing has been a little bit more challenging to try to determine that. But I think given the fact that the markets have dropped nearly 30% since mid-February, which has only been about 5 weeks at this point, it's been a drastic move, and we have yet to experience any of the first quarter filings that have come out from these major companies. And I think obviously that's going to be very telling. I think we'll be able to determine whether or not we are actually in a recession or not. My thoughts on that is that we probably will be, or we already are in a recession. But I think the key difference between the recession in 2008 versus the one that we're probably going to be experiencing now is that in 2008, there was a key fundamental issue that was going on where people were given homes that they just simply could not afford. Banks were granting $500,000 mortgages on a household that was only bringing in $50,000 a year, and none of those numbers actually added up. And in this situation, I think it needs to be or should be treated more of like a natural disaster. Yes, it's going to have a temporary impact, but people have been saving money. There's a lot of cash out there that can be put back into the markets. There's already been actions taking place to try to alleviate the stress on the economy right now. And I think putting all of that together is going to lead us out of this recession much faster than it did in 2008, because there wasn't quite as much damage done. Now, I know that sounds a little bit crazy when you say it like that, because, you know, this has really kind of caused the whole entire world to come to a screeching halt, right? But I just don't think that it's going to be nearly as impactful as it was back in 2008. And really, if you look back in 2008, it was a pretty fast recovery then too. So to think that this could be a much faster recovery, I think could put you guys at ease. Now, nobody can actually predict the bottom, but I think that we're getting very, very close to the bottom here as far as the stock market is concerned. And as always, I've been telling you guys, should you be increasing contributions to your 401ks? Should you be starting to ease yourself in the long-term positions in your long-term portfolios on good companies? Yes, I think that is definitely a very good idea. Obviously, not taking all of your cash and putting it in all at once, but scaling yourself in as the stock market continues to come down. I think we're getting ready to, I think we are slowing down as we get towards the bottom of this thing. And maybe it does get a little bit worse before it gets better, but I think we're just about there. And so it would definitely be a good idea to start buying up as much as you can, moving into this potential recession period. So that's going to do it for me, guys. But as always, I would love to hear your thoughts on all three of these topics. Please leave me some comments down below. I respond to every single one, as I do love engaging with you guys after I put out a video. it really is my favorite part of what it is that I do here on YouTube. That's why Stock Watch Sunday is my favorite time of the week, because I get to engage with you guys and talk with you about my favorite topic, which is the stock market and the economy. So leave me some comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys. And finally, if you want to learn more about the stock market, if you're interested in learning about investing and day trading in the markets, I would encourage you to check out the links down below in the description below. I have a mentorship where I go live with folks from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time every single day, and then I'm with them throughout the day in a private chat group as well to just kind of help everybody understand and own the chaos that is the stock market. So feel free to check that out if you want to learn more about the stock market. I would love to see you there. And that is going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit that thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, folks, I will see you all before the bell, and B. Smith is out. You can't go anywhere, right? And the big R word, or recession, is being thrown around even more every single day, which kind of blows my mind a little bit, because if we can't go to sporting events and we can't go to shows, or we can't go watch a movie, yet hundreds of you will go out and buy up all the toilet paper